and then run it to live.
It says that I do not have permission to do live stream.
Okay. Switch Ivy back to the host.
Switch me back to the host real quick and let me shoot it live, and then I'll give it back to you.
You don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold
You gave it back to me?
let's see. All right.
Just hover over Ivy's name to the right.
Over her name.
Yeah. And then you see them little bubbles. Give it back to me. And then I'll put it on there, then I'll give it back to you.
Hold on, Ivy. All right, I'm over your name, and the only things come. Okay, it says more, so I need to click on where it says more, right?
Yep.
And then go back to the host.
Uh-huh.
How y'all doing in Facebook world? We get ready to turn it up. That's what we do.
All right, it's done.
Okay, let me get it back over here, then. Hold on a second. Where is it?
Oh, 1 second out there.
1 second. We're getting ready to do the Alpha Male program that we did about a week or two ago. So if you want to stay on, that's what this is about. We do those shows and try to help educate people. So thank you for joining. How y'all doing? We're gonna be starting just shortly. My computer's been slow. All right, for those of you who are just coming on my page, Ivy Queen, these are the shows that we run on Friday and Saturday nights. And if you've been following my pages, you would know how these programs go. So this is the first night that I ran from Ivy Queen first. So we are on Facebook Live, but it will be from Ivy Akins, but that will show at the end. I just want to make sure everyone is aware of that. And in just a second, we'll be starting that. All right, so it should be on Facebook. Now, Ben, you want me to go back and hover over Bree's name and give it back to her?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay, Bree. All right, so now you got it, Bree. I think you can lock up everything, and then and it shows live on Facebook and recording. So I'll start. So good evening, everybody. We wanted to come together and let you know that we have an awesome show planned for you tonight. It's very important that I do say first and foremost, my brother does not feel well, and I thank him for being able to still come on. He has a very bad migraine headache, but he still was that man that say, hey, I'm gonna go get her, I'm gonna come for you anyway, sis. So I appreciate that. We did do my first segment, which is always my music. We're doing that different now. So tonight, once we start this airing, this is about the alpha male that Ken, my baby, he brought to the table. He did. And so when Ken brought it to the table, a lot of people didn't know exactly what it was, how alpha males maintain, but we had somebody who is trained. My brother's Dr. Benjamin Akins. He's highly qualified in that area to help us. So I'm just going to introduce our panel tonight, and then we'll go from there. None other than Mr. Ken Roberts, already in the first. Ken Roberts, Ken Haller, anything you know about just Ken, that's all I tell you. And he is awesome always. Then I have my awesome supervisor, Miss April Edwards. She's been a go-getter with me from the day first that we started this, so I always love to have her on. April Edwards, I'm glad that you joined us. I have my other brother from another mother, is Marcus Tarver. He's always with my family doing something, so we love him dearly. Marcus, we're glad that you could join us tonight. And then I also have Mr. Johnny Washington. You was a part of my brother's birthday party, so I appreciate you coming back again. I do adore seeing people more than once. That shows that we family now, so that's good. Then I also have my awesome co-host, Bree. Bree's in the building. She's going to be running everything for me. I appreciate that. I thank her for all she does. Please always give her a shout out on her questions and make sure that you're answering and asking the questions that you want us to put on when we come. And last but not least, I have my brother, Dr. Benjamin Akins, who I love very dearly. Again, this is not the night for that other stuff. So if you truly did not get on to really find out good information, this just ain't the show for you tonight. Wait till I'm back gyrating, doing what I do. But we're going to go ahead and get started. And from there, I'm just going to break the ice first by saying I had a question that was given to Bree and me a few weeks ago. This question had to do with a mother's grief because she just recently lost her teenage son. And her grief was overbearing to her. So we wanted to make sure that we, I think that's Players. How you doing, Players? It's good to see you if you just came on. But we wanted to make sure that we touched that because that story was very heartfelt to me. And my brother did give her a very, very helpful answer to what she was enduring. So if Bree would read that question and give that answer that my brother provided before we start anything else, because I want to make sure that that lady knows that we are still concerned with her better being, okay?
Thank you. We received this Dear Ivy letter on November 28th, and it is from an anonymous writer. She states that I lost a minor child a few months ago, and it's so hard for me to find balance in my life again. I'm grieving so much. My husband wants to be intimate, and I really still having a hard time. I'm not in the mood to do anything, especially not that. What do I do, and how do I get back to a good place? Help me. Dr. Benjamin did reply to her, and his response was, first, my heart goes out to you and your family during this very difficult time of transition. It is important to understand what you are experiencing is absolutely normal under the extreme circumstances. Words are no magic formula, but an understanding of the 5 emotional stages of grief may provide some consolation. And these 5 stages of loss do not necessarily occur in any specific order. We often move between stages before achieving a more peaceful acceptance of death. The first stage is denial and isolation. Again, it is normal to rationalize our overwhelming emotions. Denial is a common defense mechanism that buffers the immediate shock of the loss and is often temporarily. Then there's the second stage, which is anger. As the masking effects of denial and isolation begin to wear reality and its pain reemerge, we are not ready. The intense emotion is deflected from our vulnerable core, redirected and expressed instead as anger. The anger may be aimed at an intimate object, complete strangers, friends, or family. Use your resources during this stage and remember, grieving is a personal process with no time limit, nor one right way to do it. The third stage is bargaining. The normal reaction to feelings of helplessness and vulnerability is often a need to regain control through a series of if only statements. This is an attempt to bargain. Here it is easy to believe there was something we could have done differently to help save our loved one. During this stage, guilt often accompanies bargaining. Therefore, we should not create a false reality or assign any forms of blame. The fourth state is depression. Depression is formed when consistent negative thoughts are turned inward in a vicious cycle designed to destroy an individual. Destruction is a negative process that depression just happens to be a part of. This phase may be eased by simple clarification and reassurance. We may need a bit of help. We may need a bit of helpful cooperation and a few kind words from people around us. And the fifth stage is acceptance. Reaching this stage of grieving is a gift not afforded to everyone. This is not a period of happiness and must be distinguished from depression. It is often said time heals all wounds, which is true to a degree, but all wounds do not heal properly. It is important to heal properly as you deal with significant loss and find ways of coping in an effort to resume some form of normalcy. Coping with loss is ultimately a deeply personal and singular experience. Nobody can truly help you go through it more easily or understand all the emotions that you are going through. However, there are those gifted and knowledgeable in grief counseling with techniques to assist you in the process. Good communication with your spouse and support from qualified professionals will strengthen your relationship and offer tools of comfort as you work to regain your chemistry and successfully move forward. I truly hope and pray this response provides a beacon of light in this dark hour. The Queen is my sister, and therefore is my responsibility as her big brother to provide top cover, praying for you and your family.
Okay. And I appreciate that. Let me just say, if you're trying to log on to Ivy Queen, there's no need. You can stay on Ivy Akins because the live is running from Ivy Akins where you can see everyone. It's on there right now. I just went to check. Now, if you choose to stay on Ivy Queen, you're not going to see them. You're only going to see me. So if you want to go back to Ivy Akins, go back to Ivy Akins where you can see all of us, where you can see all of us. But if you choose to stay here, that's fine. When it's over, I'll run it. But to the young lady that sent me that, I hope that helps. I hope you're able to find some solidarity in your life as time go on. We don't want to ever proclaim that death is something that you will get through just from one or two conversations. But we do hope that what we gave you is some insight to how you can adjust. And if you need more than that, you can always reach out to me, and I will definitely reach out to my brother to see if you and him can work out some type of private sessions that would be better for you, because that's something that you might have to look into long term. So with that, we're just going to dive straight into, I see you, Jocelyn, and I see you, players. I see how you doing, Miss Mary Purtis and Lacey. You guys, thank you so much for joining. So I want to go ahead and let's jump right into it. I want to start first with Ken, because he was the reason that we got here. So when Ken came on, I don't know if we were able to figure out right away that Ken was an alpha male. And while I was sitting there listening to him, it clicked in my head because I'm an alpha female, so I say. So I wanted to make sure when Ken said, oh, I don't know nobody that's qualified, like, I did. So I knew my brother. So I said, oh, Ken, I got to do this. I got to see my brother come and help us get some clarity. So Ken, state your position just one more time, because I don't want to misrepresent anything that you said. What is your position in that alpha male field again?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Well, pretty much the description of an alpha male is what I have. You have to be born with it. It's not something you develop. You have to be born with it. It's pretty much self-explanatory. It's just you're an alpha male. You're the dominant leader of the pack. Every pack of animal has an alpha in it. The men look up to him and the women want to be with him. Not the same. It's sometimes it may come off as narcissistic, but that's just the persona of an alpha male, though.
So you feel you was born an alpha male?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, Dr. Akins, can you chime in on that? Let me hear what you think.
First of all, let me say there are a couple things I think we need to say before we get started. I think it's important to understand. First, Ken, man, it's good to see you.
Oh, yeah.
Brother,
Good to see you too, man.
Good to see you, man. Haven't seen you in a long time, but it's good to see you. Thank you, Ivy, for the invitation. April, Bree, Johnny, Marcus, for you guys being on with me. There are a couple things I want you to realize as it relates to me being on tonight, because one, it's important to understand what my personal mission is. And my personal mission as an individual is to remain committed to the complete evolution of self while helping others achieve a greater sense of self-awareness and personal accountability. That is my overall purpose. At the same time, I also have a purpose associated with my mission, which is to provide a significant degree of clarity that leads to deeper understanding and responsible actions. So we look to educate, elevate, and empower one person at a time. Okay. So tonight, I do not plan to speak through the trauma of your own personal experiences, but I'm going to speak through the power of truth principles. Okay. So I understand that all of you come to this session tonight with your own knowledge, but it may not necessarily be from an informed position.
Exactly.
So what I want you to do is I want you to be open to new information. Okay. Because what you know is what you know. What you don't know is what you don't know. Right. Because our
Absolutely.
belief system is the byproduct of our teachings. And our attitude is the byproduct of our belief system. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Absolutely.
So what I want you to do is don't try to defend your belief, substantiate it, right? Does everybody understand what I mean when I say that? Because belief is a powerful thing, guys, but yet it's often susceptible to a degree of subjectivity. So a wise man, he seeks to substantiate his beliefs with truth. So it's important for us to understand that. Now, I'm going to say a number of things tonight as we speak, but understand that if you feel in any way that I'm coming down your street, I don't know enough about your life to target you in any way. If I were to pick up a rock and throw it, right, I'm going to hit something, and it may be something that I didn't target, but something is going to be hit because of what I threw. So I'm going to say a number of things tonight. So whether you're here in the room with me or you're live on Facebook, you may feel at some point that, hey, man, that hit me right where it was supposed to. Okay, well, just take it. If you want to, if you have questions about it, let's go deeper into it. Then that's perfectly fine. I'll be willing to do that as well. All right. But one thing I do know about adults is some adults are just like children, man. You can tell when they haven't done their homework. And I'm just going to be honest with you. A lot of times we go off of the things that people say, and we don't have good information. Okay. So first of all, what I would say to you, Ken, is you said a number of things when you stated your position, and I clearly understand how you could feel that way. But I want to be able to share some things with you that may alter your position. Okay. Because first and foremost, I understand that people gravitate to what is called the alpha personality. Well, my question to you is, in your knowledge of the alpha personality, or the knowledge that you say you have in terms of the alpha personality, my question to you is, how much do you know about the beta personality, or the omega personality, or the gamma personality, or the delta personality, or the sigma personality? Because depending upon who you talk to, there is anywhere from 4 to 16 personality types. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
You did know that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so do you know anything about the beta personality?
Oh, yeah. Pretty much the beta personality he's the exact opposite of an alpha.
But a beta personality has distinctive traits. Now, I understand if you go to Google, that's what Google is going to tell you. But that's not the description of a beta personality. So each personality has distinct characteristics and traits and attributes associated with that personality. And the truth of the matter is, personalities are not born. They are trained. Okay? Personalities are born. They're not born. They're trained. And so it's important to understand. Let's look at it this way, Ken. What you do is your skill set. And you guys can write this down. What you do is your skill set. How you do it is your mindset. And why you do it the way you do it is your personality. So what you do over time is you seek to improve your skill set with information and experiences. So what you do is your skill set, you seek to improve with knowledge and experience. How you do it is your mindset, which you seek to develop with the same thing, in information and experience. Okay. Why you do it the way you do it is your personality, and that must be shaped with information and experience. Are you following me?
Absolutely.
because an alpha is a personality type.
Mhm.
Now, I understand why most people would want to gravitate to that personality type because it's the one that most people talk about, because it's viewed as an empowering position. But here's what I would offer you. Most people are one of three things. They're either uninformed, let me say it this way, they're either informed, they're uninformed, or they're misinformed.
Misinformed.
You follow me?
Yep.
Right? Okay. So the reason why I say that is because most people gravitate to the alpha personality because of misinformation. It's because of misinformation. And so that's why they gravitate to that personality, because it's often talked about, but it's important how it's talked about. It's very misleading. Now, if you go to a technical definition of what it is, I would say that you would be absolutely wrong, because there really is no definition, no textbook definition. There is a description, but there is no definition. So here's what I want to do. I want to clarify what the description is. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to break down the personality traits, and we're going to break down the personality attributes. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the misconceptions of the alpha male. Is that okay?
Mhm.
Okay.
Is everybody following me?
Yes.
Everybody follow me?
Absolutely.
All right.
Three of my questions already.
All right. All right. So let's first deal with the description, Ken, of an alpha male. And for anybody that's listening, just because you hear this description, and I'm not going to get into, it'll take us forever to deal with all the others, but the most important one is the alpha. So that's the one I'm going to focus on. If you want information on that, I'll give you information on that at another time. But an alpha male, let's deal with the description, and then we'll deal with the traits and attributes. And I say that specifically because there are things you need to understand about each. But an alpha male personality and the female and the male personality, they run parallel. You follow me? They run parallel. There are subtle differences, but most of the descriptive traits of the alpha personality are the same. Does everybody understand?
Yes.
Okay.
Another one of my questions.
So generally, the personality is a highly intelligent individual. Now, listen, not by your standards, by the standards of intelligence. This individual is a highly intelligent person. This person is very self-confident, outgoing, and they are enterprising. An enterprising person is an individual that displays a lot of initiative, and they are very resourceful. You follow me? Okay. This person is also very successful. They're usually the most dominant, powerful, and assertive individual in any particular group. They are natural leaders. They're willing to take on additional responsibility that most rational people find overwhelming. They also possess a high degree of natural charisma. They're very charming, they're attractive, and they express their ideas with a lot of conviction. They have a natural capacity to captivate others by their appearance, their words, or their actions. They understand their purpose as well as their priorities. They hardly, if ever, waste time. This individual is the most appealing of all personality types, but many of the quintessential traits and strengths of this individual make some alpha personalities difficult to work with. Somebody understand?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the general description of what an alpha is like. Okay, now, before I tell you what it's not, well, let me ask you this way. Would you rather know what it is first and what it's not afterwards? Or would you rather know what it's not first and then deal with what it is?
Either or.
Okay. All right. So let's deal with what it is first. All right.
Okay.
Let's deal with what it is. All right. There's something that I say often, and my mother, she's on, and she'll be able to relate to this because I say this often to her, is when I look at my parents, Ken, I got my personality from my mother,
Mhm.
I got my principles from my father. And the reason why I say it that way is the difference between the two is the difference between traits and attributes. There are 9 alpha personality traits that you must develop to become your best self. So in those personality traits, those are the traits that I received from my mother. Now, my attributes, which are based on my principles, I received from my father. So let's deal with the 9 personality traits. And this is the reason why I told you that an alpha personality is not born, it's trained. Here's why. Here's the 9 traits that you have to develop. The first and foremost is that alphas are assertive and not passive. I wasn't born that way. I was trained to be that way. I was trained to be assertive, to say what I mean and to mean what I say, but to always have good information. You follow me? All right. But we must understand the second trait is that alphas are gentlemen. Alphas are gentlemen. The way we're portrayed to the public is a misrepresentation of the personality. We are assertive, but we are gentleman-like in our assertiveness. We also are apt to change that which we can change and accept those things which we cannot. So in your assertiveness, we don't seek to control others. Alphas are geared to influence. They're not geared to control. Okay. That's that's the third trait. The fourth is that alphas seek genuine connection. Right? We seek genuine connection. So it's not something that we rarely get into relationships with people haphazardly or without there being some real exchange of giving and receiving between that individual. We are really good friends. We're good co-workers. We have solid relationships with people. We have few, if any, enemies. This is the kind of, because of the way we carry ourselves. Okay. The fifth trait is that alphas we trust ourselves.
Trust themselves.
Okay. We trust ourselves. We also strive for growth and mastery. The things that we do. We face our inner demons and we don't hide from that, right? We acknowledge our weaknesses. And also we do what? We communicate and persuade.
We persuade with class and respect.
Okay. Those are the things that we do, right? Now, those are personality traits. And those are learned behaviors. Those are things that are taught to us. And so we gravitate to that personality. But here's the thing. If you don't have the teaching, you can't gravitate to the training. You have to have someone who knows the information or knows how to teach that which we just went over. Okay. All right. Now let's deal with the 9 attributes, because the 9 attributes are associated with like what I said, those attributes are the principles, and those principles are the principles that I received from my father, right? First is they are fearless leadership, right? They offer fearless leadership. So they embrace their leadership roles and tendencies without reluctance. Okay. So regardless of what position that you're put in, you're going to always offer your fearless leadership. The second thing is they possess high emotional intelligence. So they recognize, they understand, they manage their emotions very well. We recognize, we understand, and we influence the emotion of others. Now, you notice I didn't say we control. We influence, and we influence through our example. There's the strength of the information that we have, the strength of our explanation, and the strength of our example. Okay. The third thing is we are obsessive learners. So we're sticklers to personal and professional growth and development. We are submissive to the process of higher learning and the requirements associated with it. So it's important for us to understand that an alpha personality is a person that is obsessive about learning, right? So if they're the smartest person in the room, or they're the smartest person in their circle, they're going to get a new circle, right? If they got the biggest bank account in that circle, they're going to find a new circle. Why? Because they're always looking to learn something else, right? The fourth thing is that they are very strong. Now, here's something we need to understand about being strong. It's holistic strength because we display economic, emotional, physical, psychological, spiritual, and social toughness. So this is where we are. Not strong physically, not going and hitting the gym and doing all that stuff. That's not what it means. It's about being strong holistically in your principles. And that's where you are tough across the board, not just in one or two things, because an alpha personality is a holistic person. Okay, they want to be strong across the board. The next thing is we're highly sought after. So people seek their guidance. They ask them for advice. We also are placed in leadership positions most of the time, not on our own, but by others. They put us in leadership positions. We're sought out for help, but we also seek ways to help.
Mhm.
Follow me? All right, number 6, we're highly ambitious. So when we look at our ambition, we feel that our ambition is limitless. My sister talks to me all the time. She said, dog, how many certifications and degrees you're gonna get? Like every time I see you, you're always doing something. Well, our ambition is limitless. We're always trying to better ourselves. There's always something, like I always say, the largest room in the world is room for improvement. So you must always stay in the room. And so for me, I'm always pushing myself to the next level because there's always new information for me to acquire, right? So I'm always seeking out a mentor. I'm seeking out a challenge. I'm seeking out a new opportunity. I want some more, whether that's income or chances or opportunities or more from life. Those are the things that I'm looking for, right?
Mhm.
Now, alphas also value their parents. Now, you just heard me say that I got my personality from my mother and my principles from my father. So we fully understand how to leverage the positives and the negatives of both nature and nurture. All right. So it's important for us to understand that when we're dealing with those personalities. 8 is we cultivate harmony. We get along and keep harmony in most groups that we're part of, right? Because we're social conductors. So we're always looking to make that group into an orchestra, right? We want the sound coming from that group to be healthy and wholesome, and that's our personality, right? Also, we have exceptional confidence. And confidence is the result of two root words. Is the result of two words that's confirmed evidence. When you have confirmed evidence, you bring confirmed and evidence together. The more confirmed evidence you have, the more confidence you have. So these are the things that when you look at the traits and you look at the attributes of an alpha personality, this is what you get. You follow me?
Mhm.
So when you're talking about an alpha male, alpha male is a real man. A real man knows can when to ask for help, right?
Mhm.
And that's what we're doing. Like you don't feel like you know it all. You feel like that there's always more for you to know. So you surround yourself with people who know more than you do. So you know when to ask for help. You also you you have command and control of your own emotions, right?
Mhm.
Command and control of your own emotions. Because the truth of the matter is, really what it means to be an alpha has nothing to do with other people. Being an alpha is about being the alpha of your own life. It is not about someone else. It is not seeking to control someone else. It has nothing to do with that. It's not barking orders. It's not being strong physically. It's not trying to tell people what to do all the time. It's not having a big mouth and being domineering. It has nothing to do with those things. It is about you being the master of you. And that's what you're always doing. So regardless of what's happening to you, you're always seeking to have control of yourself. And if you were to talk to people who know me, I mean, Johnny and Marcus, you guys are on the line. You see things happening with me every day. I've known Johnny for 2 decades. I've known Marcus. We've been friends, and he lives here in Boston with me. We've been friends for over 3 years now. You know, and you see things happening all the time. And what do you hear me constantly say all the time? Is that's not my issue. Like y'all hear me say that all the time, do you not? Right? I'm constantly saying that, right? That's not my issue. When I talk to my mother on the phone, some things may be happening, and I'll say, Mom, well, that's not my issue. And I teach myself to respond as opposed to reacting to things. Because as an alpha, I'm trying very hard to make sure that I can manage my own emotions. And I don't make excuses because of other people's behavior, because I'm concerned about me. Okay. So these are the things that tell you what an alpha is. Now, we'll deal with some misconceptions, but I just want to hear back from you guys about the things that I've said so far.
Bree might have to unmute Johnny and unmute Marcus.
He can unmute.
I got it where they can mute themselves.
Okay,
Stand up, talk to me, man.
okay, thank you, Bree.
You're welcome.
Well, sir, you broke it down like a fraction to the lowest common denominator. Absolutely, positively, not much seasoning that I can add on that, just in terms of but I did want to touch on when you stated that alphas don't react, they respond. And this is very true, because when you react, then you're not in control. And if you're thinking like an alpha male, you have to be in control of your own behaviors. And so if you're one who reacts, vice responds, then the person who causes you to react, they can control your behavior and manipulate you into doing whatever they would have you to do.
Right.
Because you don't take the time to think about your behavior and respond accordingly. So I just wanted to touch on that piece of it.
Appreciate that, sir. Anyone else?
Come on, Marcus.
Can you hear me, Ivy?
I can, baby. Go ahead.
My question is, can people see the alpha personality as being mean, intimidating, or unapproachable because of their lack of understanding?
Well, let me respond to that two ways, April, and I'll say this. One, if the alpha personality displays the characteristics that you just described, then the person is misinformed about the personality. And so they're trying to behave in such a way. It's almost like this. If I showed you a picture, let's say I showed you a picture. I'm just going to use this book, for instance. Let's say I showed you this picture. You had never seen it before. But April, I told you what to look for. The moment that I pull the picture up, you begin to look for what I told you is on the page, as opposed to looking for what the page has to offer. It's the same way with information. If I tell you what an alpha male personality is, even if the information is incorrect, you are going to assume that that is the way you're supposed to be. And your justification is the misinformation that you have. And this is what people do. So if a person hears that an alpha male is supposed to always dominate women, an alpha male is supposed to always, have a bunch of chicks, or he's supposed to always be in control of the money, or he's supposed to, if that is what I'm being fed, then that is what I gravitate to, even if the information is incorrect. You follow me? So now what I have to be able to do now is I have to be able to unteach and reteach bad information, which is one of the toughest things to do when you're dealing with people. You follow me? It's very difficult because we are creatures of learning. So the behaviors we have are learned. Imagine how difficult it would be right now if I tried to teach you to write with your left hand if you're right-handed. Now, if I got you early in your life and I wanted to switch the hand, that your dominant hand, I could do that easily if I catch you early, because within the first 7 years is where your subconscious mind develops. So I could really catch you early and change your dominating hand. It's going to be more difficult. It's still possible, but more difficult the further along I go. You follow me? Because those things are going to be harder to change. So when people get bad information and they start developing their personality according to that information, it's hard to go back and reverse that. Because in most people's mind, they believe they're right. Now, here's the thing. I'm only looking for the people who are looking for me. So I don't care about your development to that degree. If you think you're right, I'll let you think you're right. That's just not something I'm going to do. I don't play tug of war with people. I look for the people who are looking for me. If you want me to help educate you, then I will educate you and then allow you to make different decisions based on the information what you believe is best for you. But I'm not gonna wrestle with you for your healing. I'm not gonna do that. That's not something that I do, right? So that's first and foremost. So if a person has been misinformed, their behavior is such based on that misinformation, then that's what you're dealing with. For you, on the other hand, I don't even know if that's a healthy person for you to communicate with, whether that be relationship, friendship. Like, we have to get back to owning responsibilities for our own choices. And I'm just going to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? You have to own responsibility for your own choices.
Right.
And really, when it all boils down to it, we have to stop blaming other people for things that we choose to be a part of.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of the way I see it when it comes to stuff like that. You know, it's like, we've talked about this before, Mark. It's like, you know, if I'm on my phone, right? I'm on my phone and you on your phone and you yelling and screaming at me, April, right? Right? April, am I not on my phone?
Right.
The moment I get tired of you yelling and screaming at me, April, you're not going to let me say anything. I'm going to say, April, listen, I think it's better if we talk at a more reasonable time where we can actually hear each other and understand. Right now is not that time. So I'm not going to hang up on you. That's why I'm informing you that I'm no longer going to continue this conversation. Okay. So you can text me, let me know when it's a good time or when you feel like you've calmed down, because I really want to hear you. But right now, I can't even absorb what you're saying, right? Because your emotions are running high. So let's get back together at another time. Talk to you later. In April, I'm going to hang up my phone because an alpha is a gentleman. But I'm not going to sit on the phone and let you verbally abuse me. Because
That's beta tendency.
Here's the thing. How you treat me is a choice, but so is how I allow you to. You follow me?
That's facts.
So what I'm saying is, when you master your own emotions, you cease to be controlled, just like Johnny just said a second ago. And for many of us, I would suggest that you rearrange your triggers. Because if somebody got the remote control, like right now, when you first get your remote control, Ken, you don't know what the remote control can do. But after you had your remote control for a while, Ken, you don't even have to look down. You know where the buttons are.
Yeah, you just pick it up like clockwork.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's how some people control your life. When they've been with you a while, they know what your hot spots are.
Right.
And they don't have to do anything.
Amen.
They can look you dead in your eyes and turn your volume up or turn your volume down.
Yeah.
They can turn your channels. They can mute you. They can record your session. They can do whatever they want. Why? It's because they know you like that.
Because
you need to change your remote control.
Exactly. And he's not telling no story because I call him on a Honda. I'm ASAP, mad. And the first thing he say, I do. And he be like, Ivy, are you listening to me right now? That's how he do me. Because I'll be listening. I'll be like, I'm ready to go to a Honda. And he be like, I don't even think you heard what they said to you. So he does do me like that. But I'm learning how to deal with it because it's a process when you're used to letting things get you upset.
When you're used to react.
Yeah.
You have to work hard. Like I said, this personality is burdensome because it's all about you. You spend all of your time with self-evaluation. Like, I don't have time to think about other people. I spend so much time thinking about me. And not in a selfish way. I'm always nitpicking my life. And finding ways for me to become better, ways for me to improve. That's the reason why I can handle, like, even grief. Like, I handle bad news. I mean, even like Ivy will tell you, she's called me on a number of occasions with like life-threatening stuff. You know, she's told her story. I wasn't watching that night, but she's told her story before, right? And when she called me with that information, do I use it? I mean, does my demeanor change much at all, Ivy?
No, I've been on 1,000, but I think the way he does it is, I think there's a moment that he tries to give me that place to get it together because you're emotional and you don't know how to perceive everything that you're hearing. So when I call him, I'm looking for him to just immediately grab me and get this off of me because I'm at a bad place. But what he tried to make me understand is without all the facts and without jumping and pre-diagnosing, making everything so bad, give it a chance to see what it's gonna be before you panic. You don't even know if you need to be panicking yet. And you're ready to just, because I be on 100. He'll tell me that, Ivy, let's just go to the appointment and we'll go from there once you go. But I be somewhere else.
That's
Because
me.
many times, like
I be
after the
somewhere else.
scenario, I'll say, so what did the doctor say? Or what did they say? Oh, they said, I'm okay, or whatever the case may be. And I said, see what I mean?
Right.
You would have spent all of that
Mhm.
time being emotionally driven for something that was really not even an issue, right? So when you say, how do I do it? There's a quote that I say where it says, fill it up when you don't feel like it. So when you need it, it's full. What am I saying? I work on my disciplines every day. So when those difficult time comes, I have it. See, most of us want to be disciplined when we need it. But when you need it, it's not something you have to think about. It's got to be second nature. But in order for it to become second nature, it's got to be habitual. So you got to first do it, and then you got to do it over and over and over until it becomes a part of how you respond. Then when you need it, it's there. You follow me?
Yes.
It's there. Like I didn't get an opportunity to watch Ken's show, but here's the thing. I know Ken, right? And here's the thing. He is going to operate based on the information that he has. If he receives new information, he gonna look at it. He gonna evaluate it. He knows the difference between things that are accurate and things that are not, right? So when he looking at it, he listening to it, he like, wow, man, I like that. This is where, okay, so he's gonna make the adjustment. I don't have to tell Ken to do anything. All I have to do is give Ken new information. The moment he gets the new information, he takes off with the information.
Right.
Because if he is truly an alpha, he gonna fix himself. I ain't gotta tell him to fix himself. He gonna fix himself. That's how I know who really have a personality and who don't. Because the people who kick against what I'm saying, oh, I know they not real alphas. Because every time I get new information and I know I need to make an adjustment, I adjust. Remember, an alpha will change what they can and accept what they cannot. So you will display to me whether or not you are truly the personality, how you manage the information when you get it. Am I making sense?
Right.
Oh yeah.
100%. Like, and with you, sir, it's like Alpha, you're supposed to inspire me to do what inspires me. And you know what I'm saying? So it's like so I might be strong in a lot of areas, but if I'm not willing to accept help and know what I'm weak at, am I really an alpha? You know what I mean? Like, because if like it got to be that full circle, it got to be that full circle work on everything. It can't just be one, you strong in one area and just say it and think that's it. You know what I mean? But
right. And that's important that what you just said, because I think that this is where, and Johnny, I want you to come in and speak on this too. Just understanding, like we've been together for two decades, like I said, man, and so we've had a chance to do the mentor-mentee thing for a long time. But Johnny is an alpha personality for all of the right reasons. Marcus is an alpha personality for all of the right reasons. But what you have to understand is alphas impact other alphas. Like Johnny, we often talk about iron sharpens iron. But you have to be iron. Because if you're not iron, then one gets dull and the other gets damaged. Right? So iron has to sharpen iron. So you got to be iron. In order for me to sharpen you and you to sharpen me, you got to be what I am. Now, you may need additional information, but you got to be what I am.
Right.
And so an alpha is recognized by other alphas because you impact them, you move them. You follow me?
Right.
And that's
Right.
different. Like I look at a person that says, okay, so man, I'm an alpha. So I'm gonna look at all the 6 elements of the whole person concept, and I'm gonna see where you are economically. That's gonna tell me whether you're a true alpha or not. I'm gonna look at where you are emotionally. I'm gonna know whether or not you're a true alpha or not. I'm gonna look at you psychologically. If I ask you right now, what are you reading, and you say nothing, you can't be an alpha. You can't be. You might want to be, and if you do, that's great. It's great to desire to be something, but you got to be educated on what you need to do, and then you have to go execute. When you go execute, then you can walk around and say you're alpha because you do what alphas do. But if you don't do what we do, then you can't be an alpha. You're an alpha wannabe, right? So I'm gonna look at every aspect of your life. I'm gonna say, okay, what does your following look like? Who are you mentoring, and who's mentoring you? Yeah, those are the questions I'm gonna ask, because, like, if I were to say, Johnny, who's mentoring you and who are you mentoring? That's easy for him to answer. If I were to say, Marcus, who are you mentoring and who's mentoring you? That would be easy for you to answer. If I were to ask you about your finances right now, we would have which we do often, do we not? So there is no area, these gentlemen, that I don't touch in their lives on a daily basis. But yet they're alphas. They wouldn't be on the line with me right now if they weren't. And that's what I'm saying. So who are you mentoring and who's mentoring you? They know the difference between a mentor and a leader, because they're not the same. A mentor, a leader, and a coach, they're not the same. A mentor, a leader, a coach, and a role model, not the same. They would know that. Why? Because we talk about those things. So if you don't have people in your life doing that so that you can do that in the lives of someone else, I don't understand.
Now, one thing I wanted to touch on is I'll say for lack of better terms, I'll call it a drawback that can come from having a relationship with an alpha male.
Mhm.
You have to have the requisite personality to be able to handle the type of accountability that comes with being in a relationship with an alpha male, whether it's a friendship or brother-to-brother type of relationship or a couple, a male and a female. There's some accountability that comes with that. Because if an alpha male is always driving to make himself better, he's going to have those expectations of those in his circle. And if you can't meet those expectations and you view his personality incorrectly, then you'll feel some sort of way. You may feel like nothing you do is good enough. You may feel like he's too strict or he's too hard on himself, when in his mind it's nothing of the sort. Yes, I'm good, but if I know I can be better, then I'm going to be better. So when he looks at those in his circle and he sees areas that they can improve in, it's his nature to hold them accountable.
Right.
And you have to be able to handle that sort of accountability to have a positive relationship with someone of this personality type.
Right. That's why I always say I don't date alpha males. I don't date alpha males. I don't. I don't care what they talking about. He laughing. I'm so serious.
And here's what I want to say in response to what Ivy just said. Most people don't understand, and we could actually do a complete show just about our relationship. And in jest, a lot of people, they have a lot of fun with the fact that I'm very different than she is.
Right.
But that's okay. Like, the greatest hindrance to effective listening is to make agreeing the goal. Like, we don't have to agree. I have to understand you and you have to understand me.
Right.
And and for me to do that and for her to do that is that's probably one of the best attributes about our relationship, is that she understands me and I understand her. So if Ivy says, like, if she says, that's why I don't date an alpha male, I have no response to that. You have some people who feel like they would have to respond to Ivy. I have absolutely no response. She didn't ask me a question. I don't have a response to that. Ivy said, that's why I don't date alpha males. That's not my swim lane. Ken, why would I be worried about that? Why would I be worried about that? Like when you told me something Ken said on the show last time, because I didn't go back and watch it.
That doggone list.
When he said something that he said, and Ken said, like, okay, so I said, and Ivy was like, man, he got everybody upset. I said, why?
Because if you hurl a brick into a pack of dogs, only the one that gets hit with the brick is gonna yell.
Sure, but Ken, when you state what you want for Ken, you're not throwing bricks. You're making a statement.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
But that's what I was getting. Oh, go ahead. That's
what I told Ivy. I said, why would they be upset because Ken says what's right for Ken?
Yeah, it's all good when a woman has all these prerequisites for a man, but as soon as a man wants, he can want the smallest thing. It's World War III.
Well, let me ask you a question, Ken. Because one thing I try to stay away from is making human behavior gender specific.
Okay.
Johnny, you know where I'm going. I try not to make human behavior gender specific because contrary to popular opinion is human behavior is pretty consistent across the board.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Watch this, Ken. Ken, stay with your brother.
I got you. I'm with you.
Stay with your brother, right? Because you know why you would feel like it's not the same, Ken? Because of the teaching that you have received from people who think it's different.
But is it not?
It's not. It's human behavior, Ken. Listen, I got a daughter. I got 4 sons. I have to be careful to raise them the same. Because if I don't, I will raise them differently. If I raise them differently, I will program them to think like they're different. They're not different. So I can't look at my son when he falls and say, boy, get up, and see my daughter fall and go get her.
That's what's been done to society.
Here's the thing. What I was saying to you is I understand how you could think
that way.
Right? Because that's the way it's been taught. That's incorrect teaching. Let me ask you this. Does a fall hurt your 3-year-old son any less than it hurts your 3-year-old daughter?
No.
Then the experience is the same, Ken. It's how we respond to it that programs the mind of the 3-year-old. See, when I have a daughter and I program her that she can express her emotions, she can feel sadness, she can feel hurt, and come talk to daddy. Let daddy know what's going on. Let me kiss it. You won't do that to your son.
No.
Exactly. So now him is, boy, stop crying. Stop making that noise. Now he hurt just like she hurt, but you teach him to suppress his emotions and act as though his emotions do not exist. When we do that, we create a false reality. That false reality influences personality. And personality, it dictates behavior.
Sir, this is the perfect segue into one of the chief misconceptions of the alpha male personality, and that being one of, you're not supposed to feel any emotions.
And I think that goes with the question that we put out when men, why do we care if men are depressed?
Depressed, yeah.
About that last night. Do we care if men are depressed? And we were trying to make the point because we are not giving men that same level of concern and care that we're giving women, and that's not right. So men are taught to not show what's really going on with them. And that's how they
Absolutely.
get so broken. And we wanted to talk about that to see if we could
Oh,
understand
yeah.
when do we stop that behavior. Men suffer just like
Well,
we do.
it's in truth, men are just as emotional as women. I'll say that again. That don't sound like a Negro spiritual.
Run that back.
Oh,
Oh no, I'm actually on the podcast right now.
Bree, you got the control.
and
Yeah, I call you back.
a wise man told me some years ago that men are just as emotional as women, which is true. One of the subtle differences is the expression of it. But men are just as emotional. And so when we connect this to the poor teaching of how men are supposed to handle emotions, then as you said, many of the emotional issues that a man will have may go unchecked and unaddressed for years.
Right.
Mhm.
And the
Right.
man will suffer in silence. And then when he implodes,
Exactly.
no one considers any issue. The fingers are all pointed at him in terms of he's supposed to be better, he's supposed to be this, he's supposed to be that, when the root cause never even gets considered. But I'm going to yield to the doctor because I know he's about to throw some heat out there.
But you're absolutely right. You're spot on, and that's the reason why I said it's necessary for us to have a session with all women and a session with all men. So that's coming up in January, right? Because we need to get in the Zoom room. Forget Facebook. This ain't a reality show. We need to get in the room and deal with real issues.
Right.
Because there is a reason why, especially for us, we experience this type of toxic behavior. And what we have to do now is have some self-awareness and personal accountability associated with correcting it.
Right.
Right? Because it's never too late. We just got to get started. Does everybody follow me?
Right.
What Johnny just said, that you're not supposed to feel any emotions, is a misconception. And what is that? A misinformed concept. That is a misconception of what it means to be an alpha male. They'll tell you, Ken, you're not supposed to experience fear. You're not supposed to have anxiety or sadness or loneliness or shame or self-doubt. No, you're not supposed to feel those kind of things. Well, the truth of the matter is most people don't understand the difference between a feeling and an emotion.
Right.
Right? So can we start there?
Well, if y'all give just a second, Bree, can you get some of their comments from the other side?
Okay.
We got some comments from the
Yeah.
other side. If you can get those. I think my mom is on Ivy Queen,
Yeah, I'm about to say that's the
don't know
only one
why.
I'm seeing anything on right now.
but Dr. Akins, is it true to say that when an individual is misinformed with information about an alpha personalities, hold on, because I gotta try to get to it. I don't know why she's on that. Well, I don't think it's gonna let me, okay.
You can't see it.
It says if their information about an alpha personalities, male or female, the individual will try to act out a behavior or personality that is not true to their trait or personality due to the lack of their knowledge. You guys, if you're on Ivy Queen, I don't know why. If you are my friend on Ivy Akins, that's where you need to be so that you can get your questions answered.
Yes.
But if you need to stay on Ivy Queen for whatever reason you're on it, it's just going to be a slower delay for me to get what you have. But that's from Mama being, she was asking that question.
So basically what she's asking is about the information that you receive. If it's gender specific, are you going to try to behave in that manner or whatever?
Right. Due to the lack of education due to the lack of the knowledge of their of what they're trying to become.
Yes. And the truth of the matter is this. This is what I try to get people to understand. Like, we're in an age where we need good information.
Right.
Like, let's stop and think for a second. Now, I'm not talking about this young generation where grandmas are 35 and 38, and
Right.
Ugh.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the generation where grandmothers were grandmother age.
Amen.
Follow me? Let's go back. And I don't
Mhm.
mean no disrespect or offense. That's just
Right.
the truth. Look at the
Exactly.
numbers. But here's what I mean when I say that. If you go back and you look at it, you're going to see, if I went to my grandmother who taught me the basic foundation of what it means to have a relationship with the Father, I got that from my grandmother. You follow me? But here's the thing. My grandmother has about, or had about, I would say 15% of the knowledge base that I have. The further you go back, Ken, you're dealing with people who were illiterate, couldn't read. Some didn't graduate high school. Some never even thought about or had the opportunity to go to college. Like, and these are the people that were responsible for passing down information to us.
Mhm.
And we don't have the sense to question the information.
Mhm.
Like, listen, I love those that came before me, but I have too many resources to substantiate. Remember what I said before? We're not defending the position. You have to substantiate the position. I have to go back, even the scripture teach you that, to go back and see if what you are being taught is so.
That's right.
So if I don't have that as a behavior practice,
Right.
then I just go along with information that I received that I've never fact checked.
Right.
Oh my God, fact check. I know we all know what that is now.
Right.
Mhm.
I mean, we can watch television and know the damage that can be done by misinformation.
Right.
Yes.
You got to fact check everything.
Yeah.
So when I think about the things that have been passed down through the generations, from people going all the way back, because here's the thing, we don't trace our roots back to anywhere but slavery.
Mhm.
Let's stop right there.
So when we go
Mhm.
back, to that point, we go back to a time where we did not have civil liberties.
Right.
Education there was no, so all we have is skills, but very little education. But we passed on what we knew.
Right. And that's why
And
I
it
kept saying
trickles
be
down.
open to change.
Yeah, it trickles down to the rest of us. And if we don't begin to clean it up because we're wiser,
Mhm.
seek
Right.
out the information, fact check, bring the things together so that it makes sense. We're like, okay, that's what they meant. That's what she was trying to say.
Right.
Then we'll never clean up the behavior. Are you
Right.
following me, Johnny? You know, man, this is what we do. So I definitely need, because we talking about history now, and that's something you specialize
Right.
in. So I'm gonna yield the balance of time over to you for a second. Talk a little bit about that, man.
Are you going all the
Oh,
way back
yes,
to the
sir. Just want-
Israelites?
we ain't gonna go back that far. That's a different.
Well, I just want to touch on this very, very, very briefly because the doctor brought up education and skill. Now, one place I believe we've missed it in our generation is that we got imbalanced. We focused a lot on education, but we didn't respect the skills of our predecessors. Skills, you all have heard the statement, skills pay the bills, right? Well, how many of our brothers and sisters in this generation have degrees and no job?
Right.
Plenty of education, no skills. Take a look at the family structure of our predecessor. They had skills in maintaining relationships.
Right.
They had skills in maintaining unity and solidarity. We have infinite education in comparison to them, but clearly, as a collective group, we lack those skills that they had. So I believe we need to find balance between the social skills of our predecessors and the access to information and the ability to self-educate and be educated that we have today. And I believe the combination of skills and education will clean up these poor behaviors that the doctor was alluding to.
Do I have any questions from the floor? If you want to say something, you can.
Look,
I-
I just hope they just took in what he just said.
Exactly. And so we do got some from the floor. And that is the main reason why we wanted to make sure that you do get this from so many different perspectives. And why I said, be open to change something. You've been taught things just as all of us have. And it's time for all of us to see that, hey, maybe we were taught wrong, not on purpose, but just because lack of knowledge. And that's all I've been saying the whole time, which is be open-minded to see where we could do different. That's all, no matter what we're doing. So with that, if you can understand each person on this panel, goal is to be great within themselves. And then that work, when you're great within yourself, it allows you to project greatness to others. But if you're badly broken and messed up and confused and lost, you're not guiding nobody anywhere. But then when we tell you that, you get mad. So that's the reason why I wanted professional people to come in and help you to see that you need to be open to change something. That's it. But I do see some questions, Bree, if you want to read them, or statements. I think it's on Ivy Akins, baby. I think it's on Ivy Akins. My mom done went back.
I have a question while Bree look for those.
Please, thank you.
Is the opposite of an alpha male a narcissist? Is that safe to say?
No. I think we run into problems when we go, this is one thing and something is the opposite. Everything has distinct characteristics and traits. So there are distinct characteristics and traits associated with narcissistic personality disorder. That's what it's called. So there are personality traits and characteristics associated with that personality, just like there are traits and specific traits and characteristics associated with every other personality. But again, these traits are learned. So you can unlearn and relearn.
If Bree don't see them, I'll go over a few. Do you see them?
No, I am not able to see them.
So I'll just say a lot of people, and no matter who it is, Evelyn John Brown, Gina Wells, LaWanda Mike Bride, everybody is saying exactly. They are also saying that this is correct. A lot of people are saying wisdom and knowledge. And then LaWanda McBride did say, wow, just had a conversation with my son. A lot of people are saying you're right on point, Dr. Benjamin Akins, Ms. Vicki Green saying, yes, Lord. So most people are in agreement with what we're saying. Melissa Gilmore did say, that's why we have generations that repeat the same cycles because of being misinformed. And everyone else is just saying right. And Pastor Vincent Miller is saying balance the skills and education. And I just think that as a whole, we can sit here like we do in church, because we do this all the time. We sit here and we go, amen, and we go and say that's correct, and we go and we acknowledge, but then as soon as the program is over, you don't change nothing. So you do that all the time. But the goal is to receive the information and then try to see where it applies to you in your life. And that is the reason why most people can go to church and come right back home and do the exact same things that we talked about yesterday, because you have to want to implement the information that you're being given and not just want to be an amen person, because that changes nothing.
And you remember the conversation we had last week when I told you I went off on my daughter and it was bothering me because I had to figure out what triggered me so bad to make me go off on her.
Right.
Remember that conversation?
I do.
So that is you do have to forever work on yourself.
You do.
Because you have to know what's going on. It's deeper than what I thought she did. Right. Something happened inside of me that made me go off on her. And you know how bad it bothered me because I talked to you about it that day. Yeah, but she did start speaking back to me the same day, so I was okay.
That's why I named the show, If You Don't Know Me, You Know Me Now, because you don't even know yourself. You're claiming things that you are and that you're doing, and you don't even know yourself. So it's important to learn who you are first, before you can be of any service to anybody else.
Anybody else?
I
That
just
is so
find
true.
that baffling when you won't own what's wrong with you.
Mhm.
To me.
Tawana Thomas said people have to first acknowledge that there is something wrong before they will adhere to change.
Well, you can acknowledge it and still don't change it.
No, but she says that's the
She's
first.
saying first you have to acknowledge it.
You
I
have to
have many people that acknowledge it and still won't change it.
Yeah, but I mean,
No, she said, yeah.
I understand what she's saying, but I'm saying if you acknowledge it
still
and you're
don't
not
change
gonna
it.
change it, what
Why
was the
acknowledge
acknowledgement
it?
for?
Yeah, why acknowledge it? Yeah.
That's all
I
I'm
see what
asking.
I
I'm
said.
clear on what to say. I
Yeah,
just
why-
understand what it's for. If you're not
Why
gonna
acknowledge it in the first place?
If you
It's
ain't
like
gonna
if
take
it
it
happened.
back.
That's what I be saying.
That's
You
what
know,
she
they're
just
doing
said,
that.
all the amen and hallelujah, and then you don't change
I need you to do something about it.
Yeah.
I can go out the door and acknowledge that I got a
Well-
flat tire. But if I'm not gonna do anything about the flat tire, what was the reason for me going out there saying I got a flat tire?
Well,
Dave, I'm gonna let
what
you-
I would say to that is you didn't acknowledge it, you accepted it.
Makes sense.
If you acknowledge something,
You
Then-
know,
that's a cognitive connection that this is something I need to deal with, because that goes in the definition of acknowledgement. If you accept something, then you can just leave it as is.
That's why I said I don't understand if you're gonna acknowledge it and not do anything about it.
All right, so let's all right. So what Johnny is saying, so let's clean this up. So what Johnny is saying in essence is there is power in language. All right, let's look at this real quick. Because true acknowledgement has action, corrective action written into it.
Right.
Does everybody understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's why it's called acknowledge, action, knowledge, acknowledge, action, knowledge. It's knowledge to take action. Those two things go together. It's one word, but there are dual responsibilities to get the information and take responsible action. That's why you acknowledge. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
It's impossible to truly acknowledge without taking responsible action. We say things and don't even listen to what we're saying. Now everybody's quiet.
Not me.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at comments.
I'm
Sorry.
just saying when you write, there's nothing to say. When somebody says something that is accurate, we're not trying to figure that part out. What I'm trying to understand is if I acknowledge it, I was just saying, for me, I know in my mindset, there are times I will acknowledge something, but because of the way I feel about it, I won't address it. Not that I didn't acknowledge it. I just will not address it. I think I just went through that because I let something go on for a long time, even though I acknowledged it. But I let it go on a long time before I did something about it.
And what
But you
Johnny
still
used
had to
was-
come back to it and do something about it.
What Johnny used was a different term.
That's
That
acceptance.
you accepted it.
That if you're not willing to do something about it, that's not acknowledgement.
Exactly.
Because if you just the core definition of the word acknowledge mandates action. Like
Exactly.
I have this conversation with people who want to work out, right? They'll say they don't like their physical condition.
They
My
won't do
very
anything
first
about
question
it.
is, what are you willing to do about it?
Right.
Now,
Right.
if they don't have an answer to that question, then my next statement is, you've accepted where you are and you're comfortable. There's nothing I can do for you. You don't
Right.
need help accepting something for what it is. You'll need guidance taking action. You'll need education taking action. You may need some leadership taking action. But to accept it, that's just nothing more than mental capitulation to what it is.
Exactly.
Don't need any assistance with that.
And if you notice something that he said, which was really key, and it just tells you that the information is powerful. He asked the question, he said, what are you willing to do? He didn't say, what are you gonna do?
Right.
The answer should be whatever it takes.
What are you willing to do? And that's
You
why
say
that's
whatever
how
it
we
takes.
talk. Like, we don't talk about what you're gonna do. Man, there's so many people that are going, they always telling you what they're going to do and they never get going.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, what are you willing to do? And I love your answer, Ken, is whatever it takes. However, that answer is going to be for Ken.
Yeah, not for everybody else. Exactly.
It may not be the same for
How did I
everybody
know you?
else.
How did I know you were gonna say that?
Look, Ken, I would love for it to be the same for everyone
For
else.
everybody else, yeah.
But I can accept, Johnny, the fact that it may not be. Because acceptance don't cause me to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's why you've been accepting my behavior.
Absolutely.
Don't make it personal, Ivy. Don't make it personal.
Sis,
I'm learning.
but sis, watch this. Watch this. Because what do I always say? I say, you don't have to answer to me.
Right.
You're gonna have to. We all got to answer. You don't have to answer to me.
Right.
So I accept. Going back to the alpha, I accept what I cannot change. I change that which I can, and I only hope that through my knowledge and my example, it will influence your behavior. That's it. But if it doesn't, it's still not on me. It's not my issue. That's not my swim lane. You follow me? And so that's, like, those are the kind of things. That's why, there's so many levels to this conversation, guys. In 2 hours, we almost
sounds like it.
Like, what I'm saying is, and but I want to make a point about something that you said, Ivy, when Tawana talked about acknowledgement, and she was saying that being the first step. Okay.
Right.
All right. So here's the point. What people don't understand is everything associated with growth and development, there is a process. There is a process associated with that. Learning has a process. When we went to school, you were taught something the first day, but your educational experience didn't stop there. You had to keep going back to school every day, every year to graduate from high school. And even after that experience, you still didn't know everything. Does everybody follow me?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to submit to higher learning.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a bachelor's, you still don't know everything. You have to submit to higher learning. Do you understand? So it's a process associated with growth and development. But when you truly acknowledge, it is the first step to change, because if in that acknowledgement is the information for you to take action.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see the question?
Yes, of course, I was gonna give Dr. Akins time to say everything that he needed to say. I didn't want to cut him off. I'm able to see some of them. So Ms. Tawana Thomas stated, she said, I have exercised generational curses, bad behavior, and accepted it as this was just me. But when God got a hold of me, I had to acknowledge my error and be willing to correct it.
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. And what I would say to you, Tawana, is a lot of people understand that a lot of people understand that it's a relationship with God that brings about the change.
Right.
That's incorrect information. Jada.
Say it, doctor.
Relationship, having a relationship with God puts you in connection with the power source. But you remember, faith without works
is dead.
is dead. So even though I'm connected to the power source, the source of true information, there is still work I must do. So when you get on your knees and you're praying for God to do what you have to do, it never gets done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't understand why people do that. Kills me, man. That's
because we were taught that, Ken. That's part of the misinformation.
Okay, okay.
Sir, please,
Go ahead,
please
sir.
allow me to pour some seasoning on here.
Go ahead, sir.
Please allow me to pour some seasoning on here.
Go ahead, sir. That's what we needed.
Because since we're discussing a scriptural principle, right?
Yep.
All right. When you read Psalm 19, verse 7, it states that the law of the Most High is perfect, converting the soul. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So to convert, that's synonymous with change, correct?
Yes, sir.
But law is information and instruction. So from a principle standpoint, the scripture themselves teach you there is no change without information and instruction. When you receive the information and instruction, now you take action. When you take action, that's what brings about the conversion or the change. But where did the instruction come from? Where did the wisdom come from? As the doctor just said, the relationship with the Father, that's your connection to the power source. Well, the power is in the instruction and the information.
Right.
It's not osmosis.
Yeah. It's not
Right.
exactly.
Time in, just simply put it there.
What we've done, we talk about this all the time, Johnny, is what we've done as a people, and I think all people have done it to a degree, but I really love our people, so I'm going to speak to our people. But what we've done collectively as a people is we have mysticized our experience, and we've made it very emotional. But the greatest institution of higher learning is the assembly, where we get heavenly information. That's the greatest institution of higher learning. But what we've turned it into is we've turned it into a gym, a place to go and work out and jump around and make a lot of noise and do all that. And by the time we get to the information, everybody's tired, sleepy, right? Got to go to the bathroom, got to do all these other things, and ain't interested in the information. That's what I can't like. It's almost like going to school and don't want to go to class, but you want to go to recess. And that's what we've turned it into. Instead of saying, okay, I am here to submit to the information so that when I leave here, I got a lot of homework, April, that I got to do when I get out of here today.
Right.
Right. And that's what I'm working on. I mean, are you working on Bree's homework when you at home?
Absolutely not.
No, you're working on your homework because that's what you're going to get graded on. You're not going to get graded on Bree's homework. You're going to get graded on yours. So you need to make sure you have your homework done. You have your work turned in. And even when you're in school, they say, keep your eyes on your what?
On paper.
Exactly. So these are the principles that we have forsaken and we've gotten away from. And so the reason why people don't change, so we gravitate to foolishness. But when somebody comes and gives you wholesome, it's almost like sitting down at the dinner table. When somebody cook real balanced, good food with vegetables and all the things that we should be eating that does our body good, we push that to the side because we want cheeseburgers and pizza and a whole bunch of old stuff that don't do the body good. That's just
I need to let Bree go through the questions that the people got in an order. So don't let y'all hold on a minute on the panel. Let her read what these people are saying before we respond, or we'll never get to the things that they say. So just keep flowing until we get to the last thing that was said, Bree, and then they can go back and jump in where they choose.
All right. So y'all, I'm gonna try
to. You can start from where you left off with. With Vet, and then go ahead.
Okay, well, I'm on Vincent Miller. He said, you have to have the mindset to change. Miss Tawana Thomas said, then you have to move, not just know it, but do something about it. Not just be a hearer of the word, but a doer.
Okay.
Right.
She also turned around and agreed with you, Dr. Aiken. Miss LaWanda McBride said, I know my son and I talked about once he educated himself on different things. Although he was raised and taught well, he now has a different mindset with the success in his life, with no disrespect on how he was raised, but he's an even better person in life and at being successful. Just thought I would share that. Back to what Dr. Akins was saying earlier.
Right, go ahead.
Lisa Yvonne said, the pace must be set respectfully, as this entails redirection from the ways that once were. We have to be careful to respect the place and position of those that came before us. They executed what they were familiar with. It takes courage to change the pace and mindsets that were established from the outset. And that is so true.
Mm-hmm.
Luana McBride said, I appreciate my son sharing this with me. Definitely made me think and then get even more clarification to his thinking after hearing this segment. So this segment is helping, thank God.
We glad.
Tawana Thomas stated, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, baby.
Okay. Tawana Thomas stated, people have to be willing to get in the trenches. It takes more discipline to get a doctoral and master's than it does a bachelor's, because more work is involved. Are we willing to do the work to get the results? I apologize. And Miss Mary Purtis says, Dr. Akins, have you noticed that many male and females think or claim the title alpha and strongly attribute their behavior to know they treat women or men, and they try to make the title alpha about what they believe or other negative behaviors, then they don't understand the meaning of the title and they keep trying to become something that they don't fully understand.
Right.
Vincent Miller stated, power source, but you must put in the work. And let's see who this is. Miss Lakeisha Boyd says, true. They treat it like a social club. I guess she was piggybacking off of what you all were just talking about. They treat it like a social club, not an institution for higher learning.
That's your god, Sister Ben.
Huh?
That's Keisha.
So that's all I have so far.
Okay. Well, definitely to my mom, yeah, definitely that's what's happening. And I think, like I said, we have to be careful about these gender lines. And that's part of the reason why I want to do a show with just women, so I can talk about women's issues and deal with that. And I want to do the same thing for men. We've got to get some liberation going. But here's the thing, man, this is a powerful platform. I thank Ivy for what she's doing and all that other stuff. But at the end of the day, I think the problem is we spend so much time focusing on how we look and not enough time on how we live.
Mm-hmm.
We make our investments in outer things
Mm-hmm.
and not deal with inner things that need to be addressed. And so, if you're really serious about getting to the next level in every aspect of your life, my question is too, who you listening to and who you talking to?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just gonna be honest, and a lot of people will say, they will be like, they'll feel some kind of way about you. It's kind of like Johnny said earlier, when people don't really understand where you are. But here's the thing, I'm like, our circle, Marcus, Johnny, the folks we spend time with, you could not be in this circle if you had folly on your mind. You could not be in this circle if that was your day-to-day operation. Because every time we talk about something, it's valuable. If Marcus called me, I'll say, hey, sir, what you got? Why? Because if he calls, I'm gonna take it because it's Marcus. But here's the thing, Marcus knows that every interaction is a transaction. So he's gonna either make a deposit or he's gonna make a withdrawal. And he know that. So if he called my number and I pick it up, if it's not a deposit, he just made a withdrawal with me.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not going to waste my time, and I'm not going to waste his. That's why I will always entertain his calls. Why? Because it's always a return on my investment. Listen, some of you guys are entertaining people and it's not a ROI. It's not a ROI. Some of it is in your relationship. Some of it is in your friendships. Some of it is dealing with your family members, your relatives. They are not the same. Relatives and family, right? Co-workers, whatever. You have people constantly making withdrawals every day, making no deposits, and yet you still let them operate an account with you.
I think that's what you were trying to say when Joy was on and you sent your statement when I said, I don't give people that kind of time.
Exactly.
And then you wrote the statement so we would know, I guess to help me because people were not understanding why I will not give you that kind of time.
Right, because time is a currency. And when you understand the value of time, it matters how you spend it. So in that conversation, Ivy clearly doesn't see a return on her investment in those instances. And that is okay for Ivy. If she doesn't get a return on her investment, she has the right to decide whether or not that's something she wants to spend her time doing or someone she wants to spend her time with.
Right.
That has no bearing on the rest of us. Ken, when you go get money out of your bank or you go deposit money in your bank, does it increase or decrease Bree's account?
Not at all.
Exactly. Even though y'all got the same bank, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Because when you do business, you operating on your own account, are you not?
Oh yeah.
That's what we're all doing every day. So when you're dealing with relationships with people, so Bree, guess what? That's why I would not let your relationship with April affect my relationship with April. Because even though we operating with the same bank, I got my own account. And I won't let you make a deposit or withdrawal into the account that belongs to April because you don't have access.
Hello, why they can't deposit no money in my account? And I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing.
You follow me?
Teasing.
What I'm saying is like we have to understand. That's how we begin to get out of other people's stuff.
Right.
Exactly.
That's all I've been
Right.
saying.
Like that's how we get out of
can't
other
do it.
people's stuff.
Why do you even have time to be in somebody else's business?
You don't. Ken, when you go to
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Ken, when you go to the bank, you standing in line. You don't care how much money the person in front of you got. You don't care how much money the person behind you got. You just want the teller to take care of your business.
Your business.
That's right.
That's why I asked them, I said, can y'all do 3 things? Can you stop telling lies? Can you mind your own business? And you know what I'm saying? And can you what did we say last night? Stop telling lies, mind your own business, and quit talking about doggone people. That's what we said for New Year's.
I don't think none of them ain't gonna stop. Ivy.
No,
I don't think none of those gonna stop though.
I know.
That's okay. They can watch us get better.
Ken, you know what? Ken, you know what? It will stop. You know how it stops?
Stop paying attention to them.
Self-awareness and personal accountability. You know why I say that? Because what I just said a second ago, you could not be in this circle if you had folly on your mind.
Right.
Exactly.
Listen, some people situation will never change until they change their circle.
That circle.
You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Because, listen, really successful people don't have time to talk about other folks.
Exactly.
So if you have that issue with the folks around you, you need to upgrade your circle.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
And don't apologize for it.
No.
Right.
Don't apologize for it.
When you change and become somebody different, man, and you elevate and become you put yourself, if you elevate yourself to the next level, the people that are behind you, they're meant to stay there.
Correct.
Ken,
Yeah.
let me say this because this is really important. Your decision to change your circle, Ken, ain't about them. It's about you.
Yeah, exactly. I understand that.
So when I say don't apologize, it doesn't matter how they see it. It doesn't matter because it's not about them. I didn't change my circle because of you. I changed my circle because of me.
Because of me.
I just went through that experience, didn't I, Ivy?
I know you did. And that's the only
He is speaking.
People, I always say, no, I am not the best person to get that advice from if you want to be in a situation that you know is bad for you. but I am the best person to get it from if you want to just get out. Because I don't do that. My brother tell me all the time, how do you just cut people off? You won't speak to them. You never talk to them. I'm talking about 15, 30 years I won't talk to you. And I mean, that on nothing. People died everything and I ain't gonna talk. But it's just, that's me. I'm not gonna deal with the same stuff all the time. I get people saying the same stuff that we've been doing since 1996. You see me, and that's the first thing come out your mouth. You ain't done nothing in these 30 years that you can't talk about what I did at one time.
I'm seriously wrong with that bitch.
I mean, that's all we're gonna talk about. That's what gets me. Then well, you don't want to own your past. You're the one still in the past.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why is it
I
that business
understand.
that you don't want to own your? No,
It
people are
bothers me.
weird, man. People are weird.
I just and again, like Ivy, I look forward to the sessions, like I said, with the men and
The
the women.
women. Again, we're putting that out.
There are things that we really need to talk about.
You guys let me know because I'm trying to set this up in January. My brother has graciously said that he will let me put together 2 seminars, one strictly for females and one strictly for males. If you truly want to focus on your life, then let me know. Drop it into my messenger, and I'm trying to get those classes set to get up for January, which will be on a Friday or a Saturday night, but preferably a Saturday night because I do want Bree with me and to be able to go over the questions. But listen, for some reason, people think that I run around trying to get people to do shows. I do not. I ask you, and if you say no, we're good with that. But I'm still going to put something on. So I'm not going to run you down to figure out if you want to be a part of that session. If you do want to be a part of it, let me know. I will give you the Zoom access and we will build that class. I need those men to let me know, and I need the females to let me know, because that session is going to be private. It's not going to be on Facebook. It's locked into the Zoom room. So you will need access. So please let me know so I can put the classes together.
Ivy, let me
Do you
say,
have limited space, Ivy?
100 seats per class.
so let me say this. It doesn't matter to me if there's one person or 2 people or
That's what we
100
know.
people.
Exactly.
We're going to do the same work regardless. But here's what I'm saying is the only thing I require is for you to come to the session, be on time, have your cameras on, and let's go to work. Like that is what I'm there for. Listen, I could take my time and do other things.
Right.
So what I'm saying is if I'm gonna put my time into it, then I expect you to come to the session serious and ready to participate and do what you need to do. Guys, girl, it doesn't matter. Everybody's the same to me. So, you know, I really want to work. Marcus, you know, Johnny, you know, this is what we do all the time, man. But
I do. Yeah. I only have 100 slots on each side. I am going to increase my Zoom numbers, but I'm going to do that at the beginning of the year. I'm going to increase so that when we do have bigger platforms, it will move you more than 100. But at the present time, it's really no need for 100 to be packed in there, because if you're not coming to do nothing, you just be one that don't need to be.
She's coming to be nosy.
You
They have something else to talk about.
You're just wasting a seat. So I'm only asking for people who truly want to get a new approach on life. That's it. I mean, so you can text me the information and I will get it together for you. And like I said, all the other upcoming shows that we have, we're wanting to help you. That's it. I think,
Well, Ivy, you can go ahead and put my name in. Just gonna save my spot.
I know you. I got you too. I got you, baby. This session, let me be honest with you guys, is private. It's not going to have nothing to do with Facebook, because he wants to get to real core questions that you are struggling with. And you might not want to say on Facebook. So that's why we're going to the Zoom room with you. And I appreciate him giving me his time, because you know, don't think that my brother caters to me in no way. He doesn't go with my godforsaken butt.
Exactly.
But I'm still gonna do it.
Listen, but like I told her, I mean, I will deal with anything. I just won't discuss anything openly.
Right.
So there's certain things that I will only discuss in certain arenas.
Platforms. Right.
You know, so I definitely, when it comes to female related issues and male related
Right.
issues. We're gonna talk about those things, but I want you to go out of there empowered. Like
Empowered.
tonight, it will be no good for me to get on here and we don't walk away feeling empowered based on the information
Right.
that we
And
received.
that will be a 2-hour special, and we'll see, the time frame. But men, let me know if you want to be involved, and then women, hit me up in my messenger, and I will get this together again. Preferably, it's gonna have to be Saturday night in January, and I think I'm gonna try to give him a week break where he do the female, and then he come back a
Take a
week
break.
off, and then the next week he do the males, just because his time is valuable, and I'm doing freebies because it is what it is. But I just want to make sure he
You doing what?
freebies. What you thought?
Pro bono.
No deposit in your account.
Ain't gonna be
Hold
nothing.
on.
No deposit in your
Oh, and
account.
oh, we ain't doing that.
Johnny,
Right, man. You see how the jury? You see me? I'm spending a lot of money.
using me
Look
right
at
now.
that. Y'all like that though?
I bet you wasn't supposed to say that on here.
I'm like a $3, boy. I
Yeah,
done spent them coins.
no problem.
I'll do flyers.
You get one shot, one kill with that.
I'm not paying for nothing.
All right, cuz I got you, man. Thank you for the text message.
But I'm glad everybody came on tonight. Ken, I thank you for being the show transparent that would let us see that that's where you was. And it was important to me because when I saw it, I'm like, dog, I get that from Ken. But the fact that you was willing to stand up in it, yeah, I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
And
I've been to combat twice, but ain't nothing I'm afraid of. There's
I
nothing
know.
I'm afraid
I
of.
get that. I get that. So I want to say
He's always been
hats
a
off
good
to
dude.
you.
11 Bravo. I'm an 11
Yeah.
Bravo to the day I die. There's nothing I'm afraid
But
of.
bring that doggone list when you be in that private training. I want my
Oh, I got it right now.
Hey, but hold on now. Hold on. But I think it's important to understand.
I got it here.
Ken,
Uh-huh.
keep your list.
Oh, yeah.
And here's the reason why I'm gonna tell you to keep your list. Because
Because women have one.
there are things on your list that are very important for us to address in the men's session. But here's the thing, because you're not wrong, Ken.
Oh, absolutely not.
Hey, wait a minute now. Absolutely
No,
not.
absolutely not. Because that's what I require.
Yeah, exactly. But what I'm saying,
then,
but what I'm saying is the reason has a lot to do with the standards that
I go along
we
with
live
that.
under. And there are some serious changes that we need to make on the male side and the female side so that we can clean up these relationships. Because
Right, I agree.
they're difficult because of the programming. They're difficult because of the program. Like Ivy asked a question earlier, right? Bree, I think you put it out. What was your question? The question was something about 2 or 3, and I answered it. But you said if you could have
the question about the two, you got to choose 2 or 3, Bree. Whether it was connectivity, connection,
connection, compatibility, or chemistry.
and
Chemistry, yeah.
She said if you could
Choose two.
Choose 2 of the 3.
2 of the 3, which would you choose? Connection, chemistry, and
Compatibility.
and compatibility. And I answered it. And I said, truth is you only need one.
Yeah, because they all.
You
Yeah,
only
Thinking like, aren't they all the same?
Compliment
Exactly.
no, you need one to generate the other two.
Right.
Like
There
they
you
don't
go.
complement, they generate. You need one
Right.
to generate the other two.
I said compliment. Yeah, my bad.
My question to you is, which one?
I think it's chemistry.
Okay.
No, I don't care
It's
about
to each his own, really.
No, it's not.
No.
No, it's
I
not.
think it's chemistry.
Hold on.
No, it's not.
That's the reason I put chemistry, because I ain't got
I
no
love that
chemistry.
answer, April. But
I say chemistry.
How about you?
I ain't got no chemistry with
Wait,
you.
what was
Ben, say them again. Say them again, man.
you need,
Say them again.
he said, connection, compatibility, or chemistry.
Connection. If
Chemistry.
you don't have
Chemistry.
connection, you don't have anything.
All right, y'all ready?
Go ahead.
Why would you
All
care
right,
about
I'm gonna give you a natural example so that you understand the context. The one that you need to generate the other two is you need compatibility.
Wow.
Here's why. Let's take a two-pronged outlet.
I already know.
Three-pronged cord. If it's not compatible, you can never make a connection.
Correct.
Because once the connection is made, then what happens? The connection is made, then the chemistry is the positive energy that flows and powers that particular that particular item that you're plugging in. So once you got to have compatibility first. The compatibility allows you to make a real connection. When the real connection is made, it allows the energy to flow because of the connection. So the reason why we're not empowered in our relationships is because most of us are in relationships with people that we're not compatible.
Makes
And
sense.
that's what I've been saying that though.
Makes sense.
I've been saying that for weeks. And
Yeah, you have been
I
saying
said
it.
I'm building tell the truth message. No, my brother, the
No,
dog.
but see, Ivy, here's the
They're
thing
not
though.
gonna tell
Here's
the
the
truth, man.
thing. Here's the thing. You are addressing it, but you are addressing it after the fact. Like, see, the problem is we
Yeah, they're already in
realize-
a relationship now.
Yeah, you already in it now.
I thought
Already
you helped me.
somebody, baby.
I told
Listen,
them, let me help you get out and get on Tell the Truth matching. It's
Like,
coming
we
in
haven't seen keeping
January.
people out of the relationship.
No.
yeah,
Tell
like
the Truth matching, baby.
see, we need this information on the front end.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
why I
what we
said
have-
that.
We get the information, but you get the information on the back end. And when you get the information on the back end, you done made a lot of mistakes, you done made a lot of bad
Jesus,
choices,
I
and
said that.
you are living in the impact of your decisions and not in the intent. Like, you got to get this on the front end. And this is the reason why people need to make investments in self-development.
Exactly. I've been screaming that.
Like,
Yeah,
you
really.
like, look, when you want your hair done, you don't know how to cut hair. You pay to go to the barbershop.
Correct.
You pay to get your nails done. You pay to get your hair done. You pay to get, like, we do that. Why? Because we're so concerned with what we look like on the outside.
Outside, yep.
We're concerned with what we look like, not how we live.
Right.
Or
But
blown
the- but-
inside.
But does it not matter what you look like on the outside?
Oh man, I love the way you asked that question. I'm gonna answer it this way, Ken. When you are concerned first about what you look like on the inside, it will be a reflection on the outside.
Okay.
You follow me?
And we're out.
And so I'm just gonna say, Tell the Truth matching starts in January. I told you guys that the Queen had it figured out. I told you guys, tell the truth, and I could get you with the right person. I told you.
I've been screaming self-improvement
But
on
nobody
here
won't listen.
for like an hour. The last
Well,
show-
everybody, all the comments, everybody loves what Dr. Benjamin just stated. Everybody agrees. And a lot of people was just like we are, didn't really understand that compatibility is more important than anything because there's not going to be a connection.
I've been to fruitcake telling y'all that a whole month or two. Y'all ain't want to hear from me. Now Dr. Akins done come. Y'all got it all right up. But this fruitcake been telling y'all for 2 months that you guys needed to let me help y'all. I told
Listen,
y'all.
it's a difference from getting it from a doctor and getting it from the fruitcake.
The fruitcake had but he put the nuts together.
There you go.
Sometimes you feel like a nut and sometimes you don't. Because I had it. I'm good with it now, baby. I'm gonna put this out. Wait till my show come out.
Ben,
Lord.
Yes, sir.
can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Why would a man not want to? Let me figure out how to phrase the question first. Okay, shouldn't a man want to become the best version of himself? If he's looking to start dating, shouldn't a man want to become the best version of himself? That way he has more options when it comes to dating.
Can a person should want, listen, I often say,
Yeah, but I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I'm a man. I can't speak for a woman. Yeah.
no, yeah, you can, as long as you speak truth and facts. You can speak for a
Mhm.
woman, right? So here's the thing, because I have to do it all the time, and I'm not a woman, I'm all man. but I have to speak on behalf of women, but I speak in terms of truth and facts and not feelings. But here's what I would say to you. The ultimate challenge for each of us is to be the best version of ourselves possible. That should be the desire of all of us. The truth of the matter, Ken, is we have so many people who are downtrodden for a number of reasons. So many people have been abused, mistreated, bullied, and they don't even believe that they could be any better than what they are.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So the reason why mental health has to be addressed, it's first time when you hear somebody say mental health, the first thing people think is crazy. That's not what mental health is.
No, because I go to mental health appointments all the time.
Yeah, mental health is, you know that you're a military guy. You got mental health is just like physical health. Physical health, you can get sick from time to time and not have disease. Mental health is the same way. You can get sick from time to time based on situations, exposures, whatever, and you can be sick from time to time and not have mental health disease. Everybody understand? So when you have mental health issues, you have to go get treatment. But the problem is people don't invest in the treatment.
Right.
You go, and when you sick, you go pay a physical doctor so that a physical doctor can use his skill set to help you become better physically. You have to do the same thing mentally.
You do.
You follow me? Yeah, all of that happens, but people don't do that. And that's what we have to encourage because it's necessary.
As well as
it's necessary.
You deal with. You have to be.
But I'm gonna tell you, there's another program, Ken, that works against men specifically. Is that when men are programmed to look a certain way to men, then they don't submit to the treatment because they feel in their mind that is that's a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
So like Marcus, I gotta call you to the forefront, man, because when we met, I want you to talk about how we met and what has happened in our relationship since we met and things that you've learned about yourself, about what we're talking about right now. Because when I met you, I always, that dude he's the head of my security. I always tell him that, man. He's the head of my security. But talk a little bit about that relationship because you're a strong dude. You always have been.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. So, yeah, meeting Dr. A, it was life-changing because when I first met him, I was just that in my own alpha male way, like, who is this guy? Like, I don't need him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need his help, you know? And, but I did because he's seen in me what I didn't even see in myself yet. You know what I'm saying? So it was something that it was a few times we seen each other, but then it was that one thing that just made me say, wow, I really need to connect with this man. You know what I mean? And then from there, we just started connecting. And then, I mean, he's big on impacting men, and his impact on me, like, has us with each other to this day. Like, we're friends, you know what I mean? It's so much, but he changed my life in so many ways, like far as with my relationships, with just like with my business mind, with my, you know, with what I do on just everyday life, a holistic, anything you could think of, like he's able to speak to it and able to never give me the same answer. Like, I can always come to him and expect, if I have a problem that my thinking can't get me out of, I know who to go to. Like, I tell him all the time, I make him laugh. I'm like, he's my old man with a beard, and he's a sensei. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I just go like, yo, man, like, I need you. He's like, yes, my son, you do do this, and you will be okay. But yeah, man, I mean, having somebody like him, and everybody needs some work Like everybody needs some kind of help, and stop thinking you don't, because you
Hey,
do.
sir, I want you to speak specifically to the time that we were on the phone, and we had the first time you were introduced to the big mirror. Like, you don't have to go into details, but like that's what I'm trying to tell Ken. Like, you have to be willing to do that. And as a man, if you've been programmed a certain way, you won't be comfortable with that conversation. Talk a little bit about the big mirror experience.
Wow. Big mirror, I'll just say big mirror. I was waterworks, like Mr. Crybaby. You know what I'm saying? Which I didn't want to do. I might have wanted to hang up on him, but he wouldn't let me. You know what I mean? But it was just something that I had to submit. Something that, you know what I mean? Like I had reached a certain point, strong person, but like big mirror made me look at myself, because you always got to look at yourself first. He made and he poked them holes and let some stuff out. It's like, oh man, but it made me stronger. It made me look at things different. It made me be able to have a situation and step outside of that situation and look at it, and then insert myself back in that situation. But I needed powering up, because I was already powered up, but I needed more, because I already reached a certain point. So big mirror, making you look at yourself. It's so many things, man. So many. I could go on all night about it, but it's so many things that's powerful about having someone who makes you ask yourself the hard questions, because people don't want to ask themselves the hard questions. You know what I mean? So once you do that and understand that, you go look in that big mirror, it's all said and done. You can't go back. You can't go back.
Bree, do you
You know
see
what I
the
mean?
person that's on the other side before Ben give another answer? Because I don't want to leave those people out. Do you see where they left off at and just make those comments? Let her go through all of them. And then we will look at the time, because it is 10. I usually try to let these be 2-hour segments. I don't want to keep people all night. But if you just go back, read the comments all the way to the end that they have, and then we'll let the panel say what they need to say in closing, and we'll make our final remarks.
Well, we have some people on here that's already saying to count them in. I see like Harry Williams said he's definitely going to be part of the all men show.
Yeah, just make sure you send me your information through Messenger, please. Because if you don't, I won't get it. Please put it in my Messenger.
All right.
Piggybacking on that compatibility and connection, everybody's in full agreement with what Dr. Aiken stated. A lot of people did not know. Who is this? Lakeisha Boyd says, that's good. Compatibility leads to a connection that causes chemistry. Miss Vicki Green said, so true. LaWanda McBride stated exactly, once there is a connection, the chemistry isn't automatic. Miss Cassandra Green said, good word, amen. Vincent Miller, doctor, you're teaching and breaking it down so we can understand. Miss Melissa Gilmore stated, wow, that makes so much sense. I agree. Miss Mary Purdy stated, speak well. Let's see, Miss Tawanda Thomas, people sometimes don't know the principle of whatsoever a man thinketh, so is he. You become what you think, thoughts manifest into action. And let's see, the last comment is from Miss Mary Purdy. She stated, Marcus Tarver, my son from another mother, much love.
Okay. So you guys, just to let y'all know, I'm trying to make sure that we don't, hold people past the time that I gave them. I try to be fair. But all I want to say is that my brother and them will make closing remarks at this point, and we will go around and let the panel say something if they need to. Just make sure, if you're wanting to be a part, I'm looking at the calendar for those dates. It's got to be one of those Saturdays. So I'm going to try to book it either for between that, starting from the 2nd to the end of the month, but giving my brother a week off between the two groups. So be mindful of that. I can't work around all of you guys' schedule. I can try to accommodate it to the best of my ability, but you have to know that you have the time for it on whichever Saturday we nail it down to. If you're not sending it through my messenger, I probably won't get it. I get so much stuff that I don't get to see if you don't send it there.
I recommend you just pick a date.
Just pick
You
a
gave
date.
people-
Yeah.
you
Okay,
pick a
so
date.
I'm gonna
It is
pick a
what it is.
date and I will put that out Monday. I'll get with Bree, we'll figure that out. I put that out Monday. Those 2 seminars will be on those 2 dates. And if you can make it, you can make it.
Yeah.
And then all of the other things that we have coming out in January, the Tell the Truth Matching, Love's Drop Day, all that stuff will still go. And we will start going live as soon as COVID get better. But we're still asking you stay home, you stay prayerful, you cut out some of your dinners, engagements. Just let people get a grip on this disease so that we can still be here to even worry about communication, connectivity, and chemistry. Because if we don't, we're just dying off. So please do that. But with all that being said, the panel was great. I'm overjoyed that so many people came on tonight to get this information. My brother has always been very active in my life, and it's something about the way that people see our relationship that they have never or always try to understand. But we feed off of each other, and that's what we do. And I have to be that part that gets him to where he just say, that's it for me, Ivy. And then I know when to say, okay, well, you might be, that's right. But that makes our relationship genuine. So we want to build that for other people too. Try to build genuine relationships with people while they're alive. So you don't spend so much time over that casket hollering when you could have built good relationships. We disagree, we fight, but we ride or die for each other. That's the way we do it.
She fights, not block punches.
Whatever you got to do.
I like that.
Whatever
You're a
got to do.
gentleman. You're gentle with
Whatever
her.
you got to do, right. You know,
I had to
Apollo is
clean
with
that
you.
up. I
Yeah,
be
so
a
yeah,
little
I do.
messy sometimes.
I do, but you're right. But I'm saying all that to say we want to help, even if the help is coming from my crazy side or the help is coming from his professional side. We want to help. That's all we want to do. So if you guys can just get in that mindset and allow that to be something that you embark on, we can see the light of the tunnel more clearly. That's all we're asking. We all are different. We all have the right to think the way we think, but we all have the right to open your mind to think something else if what you're thinking isn't panning out for you. So with that, I'm gonna let the panel go around. We appreciate everybody. I will not come on Christmas night. We will do the Christmas party on the 19th. If you want to be a part of it, let me know. And then on the 23rd, we'll do the Christmas giveaway. Please don't forget the day after Christmas is the Khalif Browder story. That's a very important story. If you have Netflix, watch it so that when we come on the 26th, we'll be able to discuss that with a clear understanding of how that just went so wrong. And that can be anybody.
Yeah.
So those
Was that the one in New York?
right.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
If you have Netflix, please watch it. It's about 5 series, maybe an hour long each. Just watch it. That could be
Sad story.
that could
Sad
be
story.
anybody in your family. It could be you. It could be anybody. You need to know how the system defeats you and how the system doesn't work for you. And so that's the reason why I thought it would be a good idea to do that, because most of us have teenagers, most of us have sons and daughters who don't think like the law is not changing. It is. It's not working for us as good as it was. If it ever was working for us, I don't know, but it's
Right.
like it's working for us now. But I'm just saying, yeah, I'm just saying, really want to pay attention to this stuff so that you'll know how one little thing can end your life. So be mindful on that. Come into 2021 with a new mindset and stay on. If you don't know me, you know me now. Share my episodes wherever you live. Any story that's worldwide, we're trying to get. Worldwide. We're trying to get. Period. So with that, we'll let everybody go around and have their closing thoughts. Again, we thank y'all and we appreciate that. So we'll start with you, Ken. What do you want to give us? Because you gave us this. Go ahead.
Okay. Just want to say thank you to everybody that came on the panel and everybody that watched at home. It was a good show, man. A lot of great information from the doc, and yeah, I think we all can benefit from what we heard here tonight. So, I just, you know what I'm saying? I just love y'all, and you know what I'm saying? Good night, man.
Yeah. We family, Ken, you know that.
Oh, you know I love you. I tell you every time I talk to you on the phone.
Exactly, because we family.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Most definitely.
Ain't nothing gonna change that.
Oh no, we get that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Come on, Bree, get it to me.
She will go at me next. Well, first, I want to say thank you to everybody on the panel. I enjoyed everybody. Dr. A, as Marcus stated, I like that a lot better.
Yeah.
I love all the information you gave out, especially touching back on the 3 C's that we were just discussing. A lot of things we don't really think about sometimes. I can vouch for that. We just think we know so much. But when you end up hearing it on a professional side, you come to find out you don't know as much as you thought you know. So I appreciate all the knowledge you gave us tonight. And I think all the, I like to say fans at home that actually took the time out tonight to view the show and to give your response and your comments. We do appreciate it. Thank you.
Go ahead, April.
Dr. Akins, I had to ask your sister, I had to ask Ivy how to pronounce y'all last name today. I'm like, long A or short A. But look, you got my hand tired. I'm trying to take so many notes.
Okay.
And the thing about that is, we just scratched the surface. Bree, I saw you over there writing too.
Girl, I'm just writing.
We just scratched the surface, and I appreciate you for opening that up so we can, you know, become wise. You know, it's so much knowledge that we still need, and it's, you know, it's kind of scary to realize how much we don't know.
Right.
But I thank you. I thank you, Ivy, for the platform, and thank you for all the guests and the people that's watching.
Well, my brother from another mother. Come on, Marcus.
Yes, yes, yes. Appreciate the platform, sis. Awesome
Always.
show, awesome show. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for having me. But I would just say, man, don't think you're too old to get some work done on yourself or start to work on yourself. You know, there's it's just something we need to do. It's just where we need to be in life. You know, men, women, especially men, you know, we big on men, we work on men, you know, we got like how much time we got left, especially if we in our 50s. We ain't got much summers left, man. We ain't got that many summers left. So, you know, it's time to it's time to go to work and live this life how we supposed to live. And really do what we supposed to do. Embrace who we supposed to be. You know, so it's time to go hard and live the way we supposed to live. So
right.
Just everybody love y'all, man, and you know, wake up, let's do it.
Let's do it. Love you also, Marcus. I'm just gonna say that my brother's a warrior because he did not feel good today. He honestly had the worst migraine ever. And I was really telling him on the call all day, let's just reschedule this because you don't feel good. Let's just reschedule. But me and him, we always act like Rocky and Apollo. So I guess this was the time when we were saying no pain, no pain. So he said, listen, I'm gonna do it regardless. And I don't know, I have migraines. I don't know how he managed to do it because I would have rescheduled because of my migraines. But he was determined to give you guys this information, even through his sickness. So I want to personally say thank you. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate you, seeing something in me that that, hey, my sister is trying to embark on something different here and allowing yourself to come in and be a vessel that we can use and learn from. So with all of that, I just want you to know, I appreciate that. I think highly of you. I always speak highly of you. And I think that whatever people get from this, if they're truly open-minded and they're trying to change something, then that change will come. However, if you're not doing that, just stay a little while longer, like they say at church. Eventually, something will hit you, and then you'll get what you need. But that's what they tell you at church. So I feel the same way, even in any other presence. Everybody that joins me, Bree, Marcus, April, all you guys, Ken, the show wouldn't be what it is if you guys didn't participate. So I thank you for that. Honestly.
You're welcome.
And with that being said, I just want my brother to
power off.
I went in and took all that. You like that, don't you? You've been watching.
Power on. Bluetooth pairing.
Be killing it. So you can have the
Bluetooth connected.
I don't know what that is, but you can have the floor and close.
Well, first and foremost, Ivy, I want to say I really appreciate you including me. I always tell you, you know, I like my sister to shine and do what she's doing on her own, and I really just watch from the background. But you asked me to come on, and I don't mind doing it. And when you got my little brother on the line, you know, definitely I'm gonna come to Ken's rescue.
Appreciate that. Appreciate
You know
that,
what I'm saying?
Doc. Appreciate
You
that. I
know,
love you, man.
yeah, I love you too, man. I'm always gonna come to your rescue, man. But you know, I appreciate the ladies for being on the line as well. Marcus, Johnny, his phone died out, so he wasn't able to finish it out with us. But listen, I would say to anybody that's in the room and on the line, understand that it is about you. There is a difference between being selfish and making yourself a priority. You got to make yourself a priority. Okay, and understand that this is not a plug. My book is out there, and it has over 400 and something of my own personal quotes,
Love
information
it.
I said
Love
tonight.
it. I love it.
It's
Yeah.
there. Like that's information. You can take anyone. What I just said is about you. That's a quote. It's there. So these things are there to help you. And if listen, I'm still alive. So you could always call, you could always text, you can always ask if you don't understand something. Most of the time we read people quotes, they're already gone, right? But you got a chance to be able to reach out. You know, you see me on social media, you see me out there, you got a chance to be able to ask me, like, can you speak on this? Can you flush this out for me? You know, because these principles are out there. You want information, but listen, information without application is like knowing the answer to the test and not writing them down. That's from the book. That's the truth. Information without application is like knowing the answers to a test and not writing them down. If you think about that, right? Some of us, we know what to do. We just won't do it, right? And so that's where we are, man. I really appreciate everybody, man. What I will do, Ivy, is I will go back between tonight and tomorrow and look at the thread. And if I see questions on there that we did not get around to, I will take the time to answer those questions and type in the answers. So yeah, you will not be forgotten. So I really appreciate it. Love you.
I'm gonna close with a smile prayer, and then we're gonna go ahead and leave. We're just gonna bow our heads and just pray. Lord, we come to you and just to say thank you and ask you to keep us protected, keep us from any danger, seen and unseen danger. We also ask just for these holidays to be ones that are glorious and that our families stay safe throughout their travels as they come from and far. We ask that you keep us in Jesus' name. Amen. So you guys, hopefully whatever is coming up, you'll be a part of it. Like I said, Ivy Nation is just open the mind changing to something. Open your mind to change to something. That's what Ivy Nation is. We're gonna push it. We're gonna push whatever we can push. And like I said, we'll be in these cities. We'll be in Seattle. We'll be in Boston. We'll be in Miami. We'll be in
Yeah.
everywhere that I plan to go. I'm going with God's willing. And I'm just asking that you make sure that you go so that you can get what you need to be a better you. And if you didn't know any of us, then you know us now. So that is why it's titled, If You Don't Know Me, You Know Me Now. I'm going to tell everybody good night. I love everybody. I hope everybody have a safe travel back wherever they got to go. And everybody that came, I thank you. Y'all, good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.